When the flood happened, my sister called me right away. Yeah, a lot of water got inside. Water? I had pictures from my parents. They're all gone. Am I getting them back the way they were? No. And that's why it hurts me a lot. Or our life that we work for this, all of a sudden, it's gone. As you can see, I have not finished yet. I'm still cleaning up. Well, I'm gonna have to clean everything up so I can repaint this because over here we replaced 4 feet of the wall, but not over here. I'm just gonna have to touch it and repaint it. And over here, as you can see, it's not done yet either. When it got flooded, it happened the 9th of January this year. Everything at this high, about 4 feet, everything was damaged inside the house. Everything. We had to tear everything up, and we tear it up in 3 days. People helped me, thank God. In 3 days, they helped me tear everything apart, taking the floor, the sheetrock, the insulation, tearing the kitchen, everything around the house, inside the garage. We have paid almost $10,000. So with what FEMA helped us, it was not enough.
What happened in this flood is that the creek, which is Miles Creek, needed some work done inside the creek in order to clear out brush and debris and silt that had formed in the creek. And in order to do that, you have to get permits from the State Department of Fish and Wildlife, and that permit had been delayed significantly. I think that nobody really thought that this atmospheric river was coming. And so there were a number of areas up and down the valley where permits were delayed because they didn't get to them in time. This one had devastating results on the community, obviously. There are about 700 individuals that live in the community, and families, and I believe that it hit every single residence.
Well, I was 11 when my father brought us all out here with my mom. We were all in Mexico, but he brought us out here, and we've been here ever since. At the beginning, when my mom passed away and my older brother, he wanted to sell it. I said, no, that house is not going to be for sale ever until I die, or maybe I passed away, or what happens, I don't know. But this house is going to remain because my mom told me to take care of this house as long as we live in this beautiful world that our God created for us. That's a real, how can I put it, a heavy or sentimental reason why I want to keep this house. Unfortunately, it's not original no more because even some of my nephews, they ask me, Tio, is the house still the same as when my abuelitos, it's grandparents. So I said, no, mijos. You know what? They got sad. Oh my. See, that's what it hurts me, because all these good memories from my parents, they were washed away from one night to the next morning. And it really hurts. Believe me, some people don't understand that, might not understand that. But to me, to us family, to my family, is very valuable, these memories from my parents. And that's why I need to keep it as best as possible.
We were able to get $20 million in the state, directly in the state budget, to go to the county of Merced for distribution to the family. So they're going to set up the protocol for how to determine what's needed. There are families in Planada that have lived there for generations, and they've made it their home. They love it there. There's a real sense of community. And so I would never tell them, it's better to get out of Dodge because it's dangerous. People love living in rural California, but then we need to climatize it. I mean, we just went from this terrible drought system to incredible flooding, and we have to be prepared for it.
It was devastating. So whenever I came, the kitchen, which was tile, was filled with water at first. And first it was at a low level. It was just a thin layer of water, but slowly it started to creep up to probably 16 inches. And this was the scary part, where whenever the door was shut, water was literally seeping out from the corner of the door on the trim line. So to see that, I just knew there was water outside. And then from there, I looked out this window. This was the first window that I looked out. Water was right here on the bottom frame of the window trim, and just seeing the whole backyard filled with water. It was literally a lake outside. I would have never expected that would happen here. The first thing that I noticed that were damaged was all of our belongings, from our furniture, the children's toys. Whenever we were trying to salvage our necessities like clothing, those were damaged. They were covered in like silt, like a muddy substance. My books, I had bookshelves full of my work-related items. I'm a history teacher, so many of my books from the second shelf down were damaged. It was immense. Once we were notified the water was contaminated by the firefighters, we knew a lot of things we couldn't salvage or clean. Structurally as well, the home, from the drywall, insulation, from the trim and what have you. We're in the process right now of rebuilding. But I mean, even then too, just thinking about the amount of time that we had to do our own work, because we couldn't afford a demo company to come in just because of how much they were asking. So we did a lot of the demo work ourselves. As for financial help, it took a while. So March 10th, it was probably April 14th. So about a month later, FEMA finally distributed funds. My friend from Fresno, she ended up creating a GoFundMe. So FEMA was $14,000. With the GoFundMe, it was $1,700. There's something called the CTA Disaster Relief Fund. It's California Teacher Association Disaster Relief Fund. I qualified for $3,000, so I was able to get other $3,000 from them. And I also had money as well from my own savings. So that was a other 12,000. And that's what I'm using right now to prepare my home.
Before the storms, we did quite a bit of preparation and we were still hit hard, but we haven't stopped since. Locally, really going through our systems, making sure we start early in the process as far as cleaning, maintaining, whether it be pumps, whether it be lift stations, portable standbys. We're also looking at our infrastructure. Any projects that we can do rather quickly, we're trying to jump on them and make sure that our pumps are working well, that our standby generators are working well, that our systems that are in place are working well. It's been an educational process for all of us, to a point where we've had to go back in history to see when the last time this happened in this area. I think it was the 1969 floods that happened that really impacted Wood Lake. Not just that area, but the entire city was underwater. And trying to show them that, hey, this doesn't happen often. Having said that, we're not just going to assume it ain't going to happen again and do nothing. So they know we've been as proactive as we can. We continue to be proactive. Can we assure them that this won't happen again? Unfortunately, we can't. We can't control Mother Nature, but after the 69 floods in 1972, there was a study prepared for the county that essentially came up with the best plan scenario to prevent this from happening and getting water from Antelope Valley. Unfortunately, nothing was done about that. So here we are almost 50 years later, or slightly over 50 years, and we're kind of starting all over again.
Because we had so many storms back to back, and because there was a low elevation snowpack down to 2,000 feet or so we get some warm rain, it melts the snowpack, and it just creates a huge deluge of water coming down Antelope Creek, more than the creek could contain at its current condition, and that's both natural sections as well as realigned sections. We, the county, have been meeting with the City of Wood Lake after this, and we're looking at options to do projects that are kind of outside the city that provide a net positive benefit for the city. And as the flood control district, we are established and we operate by basically developing projects for flood control. Under the law that created the district, all of our work has to be done in conjunction with other jurisdictions that may have an overlapping interest. So if we want to do work in the City of Wood Lake, we need to cooperate with the City of Wood Lake. In this case, we're working with the City of Wood Lake for a project to benefit the city that may be outside it.
If I rebuild my home, is it going to be safe? Because for this to happen once, I can see some of us recover, some more easily than others. But if this was to happen again, that would be a severe, I don't think I could do this again. Is infrastructure going to be implemented in our area for flood protection? If so, when and how? Because right now it's just been quiet and there hasn't been a lot of talk. But I really hope that the reason why we got flooded is taken care of, whether it's from city or county officials. Your home is an investment. Is this a wise investment? Especially knowing the flood can do severe damage here. And is the city taking it serious where they are going to help us? Because if it continues to happen again and again, and the city doesn't address the problem, nor county, it's better off to sell and leave and find a better investment.